Hi, it's Ariana Newcomer. This is Wisdom Wednesdays, and I am late coming on this morning. Apologize to those of you who may have been looking for me almost 2 hours ago now. But I truly have been struggling over what to talk about today. Um, these have been truly horrific times in the United States. Ahead of our election, the spewing of hate from certain people of the far right-wing political persuasion has actually caused horrific events. The mailing of pipe bombs to Democratic critics of our current president, who he specifically had called out, and the horrific shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, by a man who was egged on, again, by internet sites and far right-wing media that have been ginning up hate, have been spreading this conspiracy theory that Jews are behind the caravan of people who began walking from Honduras, where they're suffering terrible poverty and violence, to try and come to the United States for a better life. It's really, we can't keep saying that both sides are the same. We just can't. The rhetoric on the left is nothing like what's coming from the right in these times. And far right person was just elected president in Brazil. This type of thinking seems to be spreading around the world. Various European countries have moved rightward again. And we don't actually know how much of this is being pushed from, might be being pushed from Russia. So what is it that has us as human beings get hooked so easily by this kind of rhetoric that gets us really angry? It gets us really afraid of the other. Why do we love othering other people so much? Men, other women, women, other men, different races, other races, different tribes, even if they're of the same race, other different tribes. Why do we do this othering? There's some kind of like neurochemical reward that seems to happen in our brains, and we can actually become addicted to this. So what do we do? What do we do? And even those of us who consider ourselves highly spiritual and on a spiritual path will sometimes succumb to these conspiracy theories. And I've really been thinking about this. And one of my priestess sisters put up a post the other day, just a simple sentence: if it's not a voice of love, then why are you following it? And to me, this is a great little sentence to tell ourselves anytime we're watching the news or we're getting hooked into some kind of viral post on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Is this a voice of love? And if it's not a voice of love, how about we detach? How about we refuse to get pulled in? How about we refuse to other people? If it's something that is asking us to be very afraid of a whole group of other people, be very angry at a whole group of other people, to the point of wanting to do violence, especially, then it's time, wow, it is really time to detach. And if you are someone who is connected to, tends to watch, tends to hook into certain internet sites, certain kinds of media, and you're always getting this from that media source, I would suggest that you need to stop. I would suggest you're being manipulated. They're using our neurochemistry, they're using our human tendencies to enjoy this feeling of getting riled up and getting angry and othering each other for their own purposes. It's not to help us. It's not to help us. What does it really do? How does it help us to be angry and afraid all the time about others, whatever kind of others? Be they Jews, be they African Americans, be they Africans, be they Indians, be they Native people, indigenous people, be they South Americans, be they Central Americans, be they Europeans, be they men, be they women. How does it serve us? It doesn't. It doesn't. Our job in these times is to really be discerning. Is this a voice of love? And if it's not, I'm not following it. I'm not going to blame all of the people in the executive suites and all of the corporations for all of the evil in the world. That's something I used to feel. I used to feel that corporations were really evil and that they were a source of almost a huge number of the problems that we have in the world. Until one of my mentors pointed out, he was someone who does work with corporations on a more spiritual level. He pointed out that corporations can actually turn on a dime, whereas trying to create change through government systems takes a lot longer. And we are seeing that some corporations are now stepping up and actually doing things to have their supply chains become sustainable, to actually use renewable energy in all of their manufacturing and office parks, etc. And so it is possible, as long as we don't other and push away. There is a way for us to find places where we can talk with each other, where we can work together, so that we can create a world that actually works for all of us, not just for a select few who have, amassed a lot of wealth and used it in order to manipulate the rest of us so that they can keep their wealth. Now that might be a form of othering too. So I'm gotta be careful in how I say that. Not everyone who's wealthy is like that. And those people still have humanity. They are still humans. All of us are humans. And we do have to speak up and speak out. As one of the women that I heard talking about the Tree of Life shooting afterward, saying, if we do not speak up, we are complicit. If we hear people talking about hatred for Jews or hatred for Blacks or hatred for women or even hatred for men, we have to speak up. We have a cultural thing that says, well, we'll just be quiet, we'll be nice, we won't create conflict, we'll just go along to get along. That time is over. We can't do that. We are then complicit in the acts of violence that happen from this language of hatred that's being spewed all over the world. Is it a voice of love? And if not, why am I following it? Be the voice of love and listen to voices of love. Thanks.